Today I'm going to react to your favourite rides at Fårup Sommerland. So starting off our video with a toilet bowl side, you guys have picked Vandcyklonen, and the thing about this side is simply by looking at it, you can tell two things. One, if this is here, what are the other sides going to be like? And two, it's got a giant toilet bowl. I mean, look at this thing. I do get it, you are on a two-person raft, so everything has to be a bit bigger, from the tube at the beginning to of course the bowl section to even the tube at the end. But once you make your way through that first tube and out into the giant bowl section, you will only spin around like twice. Oh, and I love that. At certain points too, with it being so big, they can actually send round another two rafts, so you can have some really funny interactions with one another before you plop at the end. Saying that though, if you'd rather see your friends' competitive faces than their laughing ones, well then look no further than our next attraction, Surf Hill, because on this racer side, you will go down however you want. Now normally on these sort of sides, you are actually told to go on your front, so yeah, bit different from normal, but over on here, it seems that people go down their front, on their sides, on their back, and that guy there, he's literally standing up as he's going down. I don't know if you're meant to do that or not, but what I do know is that from the moment you begin this race to when you gradually make your way down the Danish countryside to that final splashdown at the end, you will have one amazing experience. I hope you guys already know this, but Fårup Sommerland is not just a water park, but also a theme park too, and with them both being included within your admission into the park, I feel like it's only right to include the rides as well as the sides. And our next attraction, Saven, most definitely deserves a spot on our list, as maybe from first sight, this may seem like your normal family coaster, with if you would choose to take on this coaster, you rising back up a lift hill, dropping forwards, bouncing over a few airtime hills before making your way up. However, when you do make your way through that water mill, you will realise there is no track there, and as one of my charter books once said, if you cannot go forwards, you've got to go back. That wasn't it. It was if you can't go over, you have to go under it. But anyway, once you do make your way up, you will then drop back again, going through everything you've just done, this time though, completely backwards. As you can probably tell, already we have had some bonkers attractions, and it is only going to continue. So if you are over at the park and thinking, you know what Tom, I want to go on a standard body side, well then our next attraction, Vandfaldet. I'm really bad at my names, I'm sorry guys. It's the attraction for you, because as far as the size on this list goes, this is the most common one. The thing that you'll quickly notice though, is that once you do get to the top, you will not see a twisty turny route, rather a sheer drop plummeting you down into the water at the end. And what I love so much about this ride too, is that once you go down the drop, you will actually go into a tube, and the reason for that is not to give you a really scary encounter with that head chopper, but actually it is to stop the waves going on everyone else. Now when it comes to water parks and even theme parks, there are very few things that I am still scared of, but this ride right here has basically put all of them into one. But to start from the beginning of this, if you do dare to take on this adventure, and when we get to the end, you'll think, nah, I'll be alright. You will stand within a pod, crossing your arms and standing very still. Then before you know it, the door underneath you will drop, sending you plummeting down once again, but do not worry guys, that is nowhere near it, as you will then go through an inversion. Sorry, not one inversion, but two inversions, with this being a double looping side. And before you go Tom, what happens if you get stuck in the inversion? Well, do not worry, they have precautions in place, but even so, this is insane. As much as you cannot have a water park without a standard body side, you cannot have a theme park without a wooden coaster. And our next attraction, Falken, is not just a classic wooden coaster, but a phenomenal one. Now a little story for you guys. When I first visited Fårup Sommerland, we were told that Falken is a really rough ride. And whilst for most countries who take care of their wooden coasters, it may well be, but for us Brits who have parks who don't really care about the smoothness, Falken for starters was actually the smoothest wooden ride I've ever done. And by far one of the best too, with you experiencing everything from those classic wooden drops to those insane airtime moments to even a tunnel section as you made your way round the track and towards the end. But be warned, when I also rode this, there was only one train for this ride, so if you do want to do this, it may be best doing it earlier on, otherwise you could be waiting a while. Situated right next door to Falken, we have got Orkanen, which is Danish for hurricane? Yeah, it's one of the only Danish words I know, but trust me, when you are on this ride, it will sure feel like you are in a hurricane. Cause whilst normally these ride types will be sending you here, there and everywhere upside down the right way round and makes it almost a too intense experience, but this ride right here does not make it for the adults, rather for the families, with you still experiencing the same fun and plenty of thrills. I mean, just look at that turn right there. You pretty much bank upside down, although this is just so much fun. And if you do want to ride in between the basic coasters and the giant ones like Fønix, well then this one right here will be perfect, with again, it having a fun and excitement, but also the thrills too. Oh, I knew one of these were coming. It is now time for the Zamperla Frisbee. And for anyone who has not done one of these before, well, it's probably best to watch before riding. As in a nutshell, this is basically your childhood swing set on a bit of a bigger scale. A much bigger scale, with you basically rocking back and forth, higher and higher, whilst also spinning around non-stop until you are so high that you feel like screaming. But don't, as what could break or also make the ride for other people is that this ride faces inwards, meaning that those screams, those laughs and those cheers can be watched by everyone else. So if you are going to scream, well, you may want to keep it in. And if you are not going to scream, well then sit opposite your friends. Who here loves speed, airtime hills, inversions, twists, turns, helixes, and all that you can imagine? Well, if you said yes to any of those, but in particular all of those, then you are going to love Lynet, because on this ride, it basically tests all of them on a short but sweet layout. So to begin this ride, you will head into a very extreme launch, so make sure to have your head back. That will then send you into an awesome top hat and then a few airtime hills before section 2 comes in, which will then send you through inversions and then finally into section 3, which will be the twists and turns and the helix before you make it to the end and go, wow, that was amazing. Where do I begin, guys? It is time for the one and the only, the almighty Fønix. Hey, that rhymes. Anyway, if I was going to talk about every amazing part of this ride, we would be here for an eternity. So instead I'm going to give you a tip, which would be to ride this straight away, as even though it has got 2 trains and some very fast operations, if you do miss it out because it breaks down, well, you'll miss out on one of the world's best rides. Thank you all for watching, bye bye.